Hello everyone, Alex Smith here, Rupert Honeywood from Biz-Growth here. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I suppose this time we're actually going to be summarising everything for you. We're going to be recapping a few of the bits we've just been speaking about, but we're then going to kind of close off everything in terms of the lead generation, our social selling blueprint, but we're also going to deal with another big elephant in the room. It's actually the follow-up. It's actually, what do you do once you've generated those leads? So the first bit, Rupert, run us through what we've learned so far. I know you've already watched the videos, but run us through what people have learned so far in terms of the social selling blueprint, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so the social selling blueprint is first of all about trying to make sure, as we discussed earlier on, about generating your ideal type of leads.
Yep.
And it's also about, as far as that's concerned, it's also about how you can segment those leads down, because you try and reach too wider audience, your effort's going to be too diluted. So
yep.
Hone it right down.
It's more about the quality opposed to the quantity. And so instead of going after, say, 1,000 different people, it's better to have, say, 200-300 people that are really kind of hot to buy your stuff.
Well, that's right. Basically, in your chosen target market.
And then the actual process, so the prospect nurturing side of it. Give us that in kind of a summary. Give us a 30-second kind of summary of that.
Right, a 30-second summary with that would be really follow a 6-step process for you using LinkedIn. So connect, thank you or permission to engage,
yep.
time follow-up, a qualifying pitch message that goes out next, and a time follow-up from that. And what you'll find is if you go through those steps, that's like an optimized process to close more business. Very importantly on this, which we possibly haven't covered so much on the other videos, is the fact it's really easy for people to get disheartened part of the way through, so they may get as far as step 2 or 3 and then just give up. And the worst thing in that type of scenario is you're just leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
Or worse still, you could be effectively warming some up so they end up by buying from a competitor instead.
That's a good point, and that's actually something we'll be coming on to in terms of the importance of a follow-up in just a second. But to finish off with, which is the last video we actually did, was the sales optimization, and that's actually what that looks like, and everything else. So what is the importance of sales optimization?
Yeah, the sales optimization really is the devil's in the follow-up, as it were. So getting people to the point, once they've asked you for that information, make sure you follow them up within 24 hours or so max,
yep.
rather than putting their hands up. Share lots of values, as we've talked about a lot earlier on. What you'll find is there's a very rapid rate of decay in terms of the quality of a lead,
yep.
because people very quickly forget why they were interested in the first place.
Yeah, so you need to really get kind of, not pounce them, it's the wrong word, but more, as soon as someone's asking for the opportunity, give them what they want. So as soon as someone's either put their hand up or they're saying, look, let's have a conversation, how quickly now, this leads us very much onto the second elephant in the room. So the first elephant was getting those 3 parts working very well. Imagine cogs, imagine the machinery, that system, that process, that factory working very, very well. And now the second elephant in the room that we face with our clients is the follow-up. Now, obviously, you've mentioned about leaving money on the table, and we never want to do that. But what we don't want to do even more than that is warming people up where they go to our competitors. Now, with that being said, the follow-up, why is it so important?
Well, the bottom line is if things are not followed up, then basically that money is just going to go to someone else, which is the last thing that you want.
And in your experience and your personal opinion, what do you think the best form of follow-up is? Is it getting someone on the phone? Is it going, how quickly can we get them into a meeting? What is the best form of follow-up?
Okay, it depends really on your product or service, and also how scalable you want your business to be.
Yep.
If you're wanting to try and create an element of scale in your business, it may well be that part of your model prior to the phone call would be actually have some form of webinar, or you may actually invite people to take part in some form of diagnostic.
Yep.
Because that means that when you do have a conversation, you're having conversations with people who are or even more qualified before they move on to the next stage. If you're into very high ticket sales, then obviously the lead time on that can be quite long. So you might have a meeting with someone, say, next week, and maybe then you have another meeting with an extended team in 2 or 3 months' time. Then it may be that they won't place an order until the beginning of the new financial year.
Yeah.
And so you can be involved in much longer lead times.
I suppose this is a great time to recap on actually saying not only about knowing your numbers, but also what we've said before. This is why it's really important to have a diverse kind of product range, because although you may have, say, £100,000 sale, if that takes 6 months to come in, you could run out of cash before that.
Yeah.
And that's cash flow is important. So this is one of the reasons why we encourage our clients to look at things like not just how can I get the big ticket sales, how can I just close a £100,000 business, but how can I have 2 or 3 or 4 Smaller products, say £2,000, £5,000, £10,000 price points, that trickle in and keep the cash flow coming month in, month out, so that when we get the £100,000 ones, we're not so in need of that money and not so important. So the follow-up is obviously very, very important. But something else that's equally as important is a diverse portfolio in terms of making sure that you've got enough money in the bank to keep you afloat.
Yeah, and as part of that, of course, it's about de-risking it for people too. So we talked a little bit earlier on in another video about having some sort of KPI guarantees, whatever it may be. But with this, it may well be that you have to use the lower value sales as the hook to lead into the high value ones. So even if you're a big corporate, at the end of the day, they may not want to spend £250,000 or £100,000 off the bat without having bought into something more as a test drive to start with, which might be a 10 or 15k product. If it's a small business, of course, it'll be a much smaller spend.
And let's go back to, let's make this relevant to people watching. If you are in a sales capacity or you are a one-person band, the quicker you jump on those hot leads, say I've put my hand up and I've got a phone call within, say, 2 hours booked, that as a professional service looks so like you're on the ball. You are ready for opportunities, you're really, really keen, and you're really engaged with your clients and you're very aware of what's actually going on. Whether we've generated the leads for you or you've generated those leads yourself, the quicker you respond to what someone's asked you for, it just shows you're an expert in that field and you know you're really, really on the ball. And that creates such a good foundation for moving forward. You've done the right bit to get them to the point where they're asking for that conversation. You've then gone that extra step that's before the day's out or the first 2 or 3 hours. You're following that person up with a phone call or an email or a booking or whatever. That shows that you're really on the ball with what you've got to offer.
Quite.
Yeah? Is there anything else more that we can maybe talk about that?
I think a lot of the other parts we're going to cover in the next part of the series. So I think as far as those two elephants are concerned, we've dealt with it very well here.
Yeah, so just to recap, just to finish off with then, the two elephants in the room are making sure that the three-legged stool is always kept in balance in terms of the lead generation, the prospect nurturing, the sales optimization. They're working together. They're not working stronger than the other. They're working together to generate a real nice lead, flow of leads. You've then got the follow-up. This is so important. It's a reflection on your business. It's a reflection on you or as a salesperson, and it really creates a lot of credibility within the industry. I suppose that'd be a good way to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, I'm Alex Smith. This is Rupert Honeywood. Once again, as I always say, you are our oxygen. Your feedback is what we look for. Thank you so much for watching or listening in today. If you've got any comments, drop them below or send us an email if you've got any questions or any feedback. And thank you so much. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
Thank you.